up, everybody? Today I'm bringing you a review of Dead Island. So basically, this game is like Borderlands, Dead Rising, and Left 4 Dead all smushed in together. It has received a ton of bad press. A few of them. I know Eurogamer gave it like a 6 out of 10. They're usually pretty harsh, but I can understand why it's gotten the low reviews. I don't necessarily agree with that. Would like basically to cover a few items here. I mean, first you got to get out in the open. The graphics are not great. I mean, they're all right, and if they're playing on console, they're not that great. And there's not a lot of texture. There's not a lot of detail. The zombies look all right, but sometimes it's not what you would expect from a modern game in 2011 to be. And the game is really glitchy. Okay, so in the single player mode, not so much. In the multiplayer mode, when you're playing with friends or you're playing with random people, you're gonna get some glitches. I've fallen through the map. I've had zombies disappear. I've had my entire group of people die and then keep respawning into death randomly over and over again, to the point where I had to quit the game. And there's some bad collision mechanics. Now, if you're somebody who focuses on small items like that, and they're not really game breaking to the point where you're like, I never want to play this game again, in my opinion, skip this. Go. You could stop listening now and just forget it. It's not worth your time. If the small items aren't going to bother you, then this game really does have a lot to offer, actually. For as far as bang for your buck goes, just right off the bat, this is a pretty long game, and it is a lot of fun if you're playing in co-op. You just go over a few items. Like I said, the graphics are subpar. The sound is awesome. I love the music in this game. I think that they, from what I understand, this budget was not as big as you would get from most standard games in this day and age. So them putting together a music package like that is definitely awesome. This is like a first-person RPG type thing, and so if you're into RPGs, then this has got a lot of that elements in it, and I've been loving it. The RPG makes up a big portion of the game. You've got gun mechanics, you've got melee mechanics, and first and foremost, this is primarily a melee game. So if you're going to go up and you're going to stick a knife in a zombie's neck, and once you do get the guns, you spend this whole time like, oh, I can't wait to get a gun, I can't wait to get a gun, and then when you finally get it and you actually get some ammo, because ammo's pretty scarce in this game, you're like, wow, that was pretty anticlimactic, because the melee weapons are better. And the guns do all right, and I haven't completely finished the game yet. I'm probably about 25 hours into it or so, but I'm one of those people in RPGs that will do every single side quest, and I cannot move forward in the main storyline until I do all the side quests. So I'm definitely going to get the full value out of this game. It does take it does take you quite a long time to do it. Now, the controls are different. Now, I know a lot of people can get frustrated, and one of the things that really kind of irks me about games nowadays is that if a game is difficult, gamers for the most part just end up like, oh my god, that game sucked, and just because it's difficult and they couldn't beat it. Now, this game forces you to be accurate with your shots and with your melee attacks, and if you're not, you're gonna die, and that's that. If a zombie's coming at you, 3 or 4 zombies, you've got to pick the right order to knock them down in, and then you got to pick the right order to attack them in, and if you pick it in the wrong order, you're gonna die. If you don't hit them in the head or chop their arm off or disable them in some way with a melee attack, you're going to die. And it's going to be really frustrating to you if you're not willing to put in the effort to get good with the controls, because they are different than pretty much anything else I've played, and it's not easy to master. I mean, there may be some of you out there that are super video game guys, and you pick it up and it's like the most easiest thing ever. Great. I'm not one of those people. It took me a while to get used to it, and the game eases you into it. I mean, in the beginning you start off and it's really simple, but as you get further in the game and you rank up, and the zombies rank up with you at the same time, so you're always engaging in difficult battles. The zombies will hand you your ass if you're not careful. So, you just need to be very accurate with what you're doing. Now, that whole part of it, the RPG elements of it, you get to find really cool new weapons. You get to modify your weapons. You get to add, toxic mods and fire mods and whatever, shock mods and all kinds of other stuff like that, which is something, typical of an RPG element in the game. And so, if you're not, I enjoy that personally, and I think that's a blast. So I've spent quite a bit of time modifying my weapons, and these type of games take forever for me because I like to mess around with my weapons. It's like when I was playing Oblivion, I could literally spend an hour in that game doing next to nothing. I'm not comparing it by any stretch of the imagination to this game. I'm just, as a frame of reference. So, the co-op on this game has been interesting, I guess you could say. There's some pretty game-breaking stuff in there in the co-op. The lag can get pretty atrocious at times. I've seen zombies just like appear and reappear on the other side of the screen, and I'm going to say I'm going to attribute it to lag. I'm not entirely sure, and I would imagine, and again, this is coming from a console perspective, and I know you PC guys got it 10,000 times as worse on the PC launch. I mean, I've seen the Steam forums, and oh my god, wow. You want to see some crazy stuff, guys? Go to the Steam forums and check this out, man. People were going bonkers over the stuff. This game was released with some crazy ass stuff wrong with it on PC. So, and of course they're like, oh, it's a big deal and they're trying to fix it, but whatever. I mean, that's a major issue, and I hopefully that they can take care of it before too long. There's definitely going to be some patches coming out for this because they've got to fix the issues. But anyways, back to the co-op. Co-op's a lot of fun. You can trade weapons. They got a built-in mechanic to be able to trade weapons. So, this has got a typical standard setup with 4 different classes. You've got a weapons expert. You've got a knife expert. You've got a guns or a melee guy, and I think it was gun expert. And so all these people have the area that they specialize in, and if you're playing in a co-op game where everybody's different and working together, you can use all your strengths pretty well. You can trade weapons around. You can tackle missions together, or you can free roam and do it separately, which is kind of neat. They do have driving in this game. It's a really, really rudimentary setup. I mean, you've got very low visibility. You can smash over zombies. I mean, you're not going to look for, the driving through a sea of zombie blood like you did in Dead Rising, but, you definitely can use them to your advantage. One thing that I will say that I thought was pretty cool about this game too, I think the level design is spectacular. I know a lot of people have been knocking it, but the level design, when you run around, everything is different. They didn't copy and paste the same streets over and over again. So when you run around, it's hard to get lost. You're like, oh, I'm in this part of town because I've been here before. You know where you're at. I mean, bottom line for this game is it's not perfect, but it is an enjoyable experience, and I definitely think it was worth the $60 I paid for it. I would recommend it to people, especially if you're going to play co-op, and for me, it was an overall enjoyable experience. So, anyways, thanks guys for listening to and watching this review today. Make sure you subscribe.